Hello, welcome back to my channel. So Starcasm decided to go down a rabbit hole and find out more about Chelsea, who's on this season of Love During Lockup, and they uncovered a lot. So her dad Steve that we see on this season with her, she has sued her dad in the past, and she's also got a restraining order on him and multiple other things. So back in 2019, Chelsea sued her dad Steve after he allegedly took her insurance money after a house fire, and she even filed a restraining order against him because he allegedly berated her while she was in the hospital after she tried to unalive herself, and she says that her dad saved her life. So it all started back in September of 2019. Chelsea decided to sue her dad Steve. So according to the lawsuit, there is an electrical fire at Chelsea's home in January 2019. So as a result of the fire, the interior of the home was damaged, including some of the appliances. So Chelsea ended up filing an insurance claim, and she ended up getting the claim approved, and she got two different checks that totaled up to $19,781.81. So the lawsuit claims that Chelsea's dad, Steve, involved himself in the claims process, including meeting with and discussing the scope of work with the insurance adjuster. And Chelsea alleges that her dad claimed to be capable of handling all the needed repairs. Her dad also hired another dude to help do work at Chelsea's house. So suddenly one day, Chelsea's dad, Chelsea, and the man that her dad hired were all sitting there together when all of a sudden Chelsea's dad pulled out this piece of paper and was urging Chelsea to sign it right then and there. And Chelsea had no idea what this document was about, and she can't really talk, and she says her dad doesn't know how to sign for Ish to really explain what this whole document's about. So she told her dad she wanted to take the document to her mother so her mother could look over it first, but she said her dad insisted that Chelsea sign the document without giving her the opportunity to have the document reviewed by her mother. And she said that her dad would ask her on a near daily basis if her insurance check had came in the mail yet or not, and he cautioned Chelsea not to go to the bank by herself and that he should go with her, and he encouraged Chelsea to cash the insurance check and then bring all the cash to his house so it could be safe. So Chelsea trusted her dad, so when she got all her insurance money, she gave it to her dad to keep in his safe, and she said she believed that her dad was going to keep the funds in a safe at his residence and just save it for her when she needs it. So then all of a sudden she needed money to do repairs at her home because the guy that her dad hired, she said he did a terrible job. So her dad promised her, don't worry, I got this person hired. He's going to take care of everything and your house will be right back to normal. But in the filing, it says the person that he hired that there's still exposed wires all over the home, and the exposed wires were a danger because she had children who live in the home. And they also said that the appliances still weren't installed and the HVAC is not working properly. And they also said the repairs that were undertaken failed to meet the required workmanlike standard. So Chelsea also claimed that she was left out during an important conversation with the insurance rep over the phone that included her dad and the dude he hired. So the filing said that Chelsea's dad, Steve, has made an effort to control the information that Chelsea has received regarding her claim and the repairs of her house. And they said that all the work that the insurance company called for to be done, that they paid her to fix, has not been done yet, and the work that was done was not up to required workmanlike standard. So Chelsea alleged that her dad promised to do some of the work himself. Like, he promised to replace some of the damaged light fixtures, but he made it clear to Chelsea that he will not complete the repair project or cure the defective workmanship. And Chelsea said that she needs to recover the insurance money from her father so she can hire a contractor to complete her repair projects and finally get it over with. So as a result of all the allegations, Chelsea ended up suing her own dad for breach of contract, unjust enrichment, conversion, and fraud. So Chelsea and her dad, this is even the beginning of the drama that they've had in the past. So after she ended up deciding to sue her father, Things got pretty heated because in January 2020, Chelsea ended up filing for a restraining order against her dad after he allegedly confronted her while she was in the hospital. So this is from the restraining order filing, and it's a lot, guys, so buckle up. So it says that Chelsea has been and continues to be harassed, threatened, and intimidated by the defendant, which is her father. So it says that late in the evening on January 4th, 2019, Chelsea was admitted to Grady Memorial Hospital in Delaware for a medical emergency. So this emergency stemmed from the recent passing of Chelsea's boyfriend, and it was a highly personal nature. So while at the hospital, Chelsea's father showed up without invitation, and while in the presence of her minor son, her father began berating and threatening Chelsea with imprisonment, claiming she was committing fraud by suing him to recover her insurance proceeds. And her father's demeanor was threatening and intimidating and otherwise very inappropriate in front of a minor child. Chelsea believed her father was drinking that night, which she said he had a reputation of doing, and her father says he knows his daughter to be dead and in a vulnerable state, which makes her more susceptible to harassment and limits her ability to defend herself. So he said he was just trying to look out for her. Even after that, though, her dad continued on with his aggressive behavior. It says that Chelsea did not invite her dad to the hospital, nor did she want him to be there. So she asked that he was not allowed to see her further while she was in the hospital. And she ended up getting transferred and admitted to another hospital. And she anticipated being discharged within the next couple of days. And she is fearful that her dad was going to continue to harass and intimidate her. So she ended up filing for a restraining order. And it also says, to addition to harassing and intimidating Chelsea, he was also harassing and intimidating Chelsea's mother and her husband as well. So Chelsea asked for a restraining order so her dad couldn't contact her in person, through the phone, text, email, or otherwise. She also asked that her dad not be able to contact her minor children and that he be restrained from any further contact with her mother. So her dad filed a response to the motion for a restraining order, asking that it be thrown out due to being improperly filed. And Chelsea's attorney never responded with information requested by the court, and the motion for a restraining order was denied by a magistrate as a result in June of 2020. So Chelsea voluntarily dismissed the lawsuit against her dad on September 9th of 2020. So hopefully they ended up working things out behind closed doors outside of the courts. And the house that Chelsea filmed in for this season is the same house that had the fire in 2019. Hopefully she's got those appliances and all that stuff fixed by now. So as I mentioned earlier, Chelsea was in the hospital when she initially filed for a restraining order against her father because she didn't want her father visiting her while she was in the hospital. Well, the whole reason she was in the hospital is because she tried to unalive herself after her boyfriend at the time had died after he took too much drugs. So the father of one of Chelsea's children ended up filing for custody of one of her kids on January 6th of 2020. So in the motion, her baby daddy revealed that Chelsea allegedly tried to unalive herself soon after her boyfriend had died by taking too much drugs, and it was her father Steve who saved her life. So this is an excerpt from the affidavit. It said that Chelsea, she had a boyfriend who died on January 4th of 2020 after he took too many illegal drugs and died as a result of that. And then the next day, Chelsea decided to drive to Delaware State Park Beach, and she ended up injecting herself with illegal drugs. And after injecting herself with the drugs, she walked to the water and laid down in the water with the hopes that once she passed out that she would drown, ensuring that the attempt of unaliving herself would be successful. So the Delaware County Sheriff's Office was contacted, and they pinged Chelsea's phone in an attempt to locate her, and her father ended up finding Chelsea in the water and pulled her out and saved her. So upon arrival, the deputies from the Delaware County Sheriff's Department transported Chelsea to Grady Memorial Hospital for evaluation and treatment. And that's when Chelsea admitted that she was trying to unalive herself, and they ended up transferring her to a mental facility on January 6th of 2020. And the father of one of her children said he feared for the safety and well-being of his child, so he was given full custody of that child that he shared with Chelsea. Chelsea is still able to see him and get visitation with him when she likes. So the father has full custody. He's the residential parent and legal custodian of the minor child. And that hasn't changed since that was put in effect in 2020. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.